Am I the a-hole for forbidding my girlfriend from doing household chores? A few years ago, while assembling furniture, my girlfriend, who is 27 years old, injured her wrists from using the screwdriver. We ended up getting her some wrist braces until the pain subsided, and eventually, we consulted a doctor who said it was not a serious issue. Since then, I have gradually discouraged her from doing chores around the house. I noticed that tasks like sweeping, scrubbing, and washing dishes consistently aggravated her wrists, making it difficult for her to perform her actual job, which involves creating small handmade crafts that require extensive wrist usage. I observed a pattern where she would strain her wrist doing chores, then have to abandon her job after an hour or two, and wear her wrist brace until the next day. She truly enjoys her job, and when things go well, she can happily work up to 6 hours a day on her crafts. Since I cannot do her job for her, I want her to be able to focus on it. I have no problem doing these chores, but today I caught her scrubbing a pan after I had just reminded her yesterday to leave them for me and to call me if I had missed one. I would have hurried over to take care of it. She told me I am being overbearing and that she is fine to scrub a pan, but I do not want her to get injured or develop worse long-term damage. Am I being unreasonable for insisting on doing the household chores? Edit some clarifications. I should have put forbidding in quotes. I cannot really stop her from doing anything except maybe lightly scold her afterwards. I am not her dad, haha. I have shown her this thread, and she agrees my version of events is more or less accurate, but she still feels she is right. Edit 2. Hello, everyone. I stopped responding yesterday because I basically got the answer I needed 10 comments in. I was being unreasonable, haha. And then this post ended up getting almost 300 replies. I actually got lightly scolded myself for spending so much time responding to messages that I ended up slacking on my own work. I have got her a little tool to open soda cans. I did not know these things existed until yesterday. A lot of people are trying to diagnose her in the comments. We will keep your ideas in mind the next time we go to the doctor or specialist, and I will accompany her, if she wants, since people have informed me that doctors do not always take women seriously. I appreciate the calm, reasoned comments that aim to help me understand her perspective better, which is why I posted. To those voting that everyone is in the wrong, she says, "Why am I getting criticized here? I just want to do the dishes." Some of you are very passionate, haha. Thanks to those who helped. It sounds like you might need a second or third medical opinion if it continues to flare up that easily. Am I the a-hole for not shortening my workout for 2 strangers? Yesterday at the gym around 5:30 p.m., I started my leg day workout, which is usually the longest of the week. I was using the power rack to do squats, deadlifts, and good mornings, typically taking about 30 to 40 minutes. There are 3 power racks, and I was using one of them. I take about 3-minute rests between squat sets since I am doing heavy weight for low repetitions. While I was squatting, 2 girls, whom I will call Girl A and Girl B, started waiting behind me. Neither approached me to ask how many sets I had left, but they just hung around. When I finished squatting and began re-racking my weights to prepare for deadlifts, I could tell they assumed I was done. I walked up to Girl A and asked if she was waiting for me to finish. She said yes, so I explained that I still had deadlifts and another movement to do. She responded with, of course you do." And I just moved on. As I set up and began deadlifting, both girls stood nearby, rolling their eyes and acting frustrated, as though I should be shortening my workout for them. I decided to be polite and ask Girl A what she wanted to do. She said squats, so I offered her the nearby squatting area since I was not using it. She declined, so I kept going with my workout. Meanwhile, another guy using a different power rack offered the same to Girl B, but she also declined. A group of 2 women then came up, and the girls complained that they had been waiting for 30 minutes and it was ridiculous. I ignored them. When I finished deadlifting, Girl A moved away to warm up. I approached Girl B, and before I could speak, she looked at me and paused her music, saying, "What? Hold on, I cannot hear you." I told her I still had 1 more movement to do and would need 5 to 10 more minutes. She seemed upset and responded sarcastically, "Okay, that's fine. I've already been here 30 minutes, what's another 10? I shook my head and walked away. As I started my next movement, I briefly considered shortening it to avoid further conflict, but then decided not to. I did not want to reward their rudeness by letting them dictate my workout. I have been lifting since 2016 and have always tried to be respectful and kind to others at the gym. When people ask politely, I do not mind sharing equipment, but the way these girls treated me was unpleasant. I continued my workout as planned because being kind is free, and I was not going to let their behavior disrupt my day. Am I the a-hole for continuing my workout despite their rude behavior? Not the a-hole. It was rude for them to try to pressure you off your workout. If someone is using the equipment I want, I go do something else until it is available. Am I the a-hole for not paying my friend back for something I never requested? This happened about a week ago and it is still awkward. My friend and I were at the mall just walking around, and we stopped by one of those little skincare booths. The lady was doing free hand scrubs or something, and I was just standing there letting her try it on me because it smelled nice. My friend was super into it though, asking a million questions. I said I was not buying anything and even stepped away a little, but while I was looking at a display, my friend ended up buying 2 of the scrubs. They were about $35 each. Cool, whatever. But then as we were leaving, she handed me one and was like, "Here, I got one for you too." I literally said, "Wait, what? Why?" And she just shrugged and went, "I know you liked it, it is no big deal." I said thanks, but also told her she did not have to do that. Now fast forward to yesterday, she texts me like, "Hey, can you send me $35 for that scrub when you get a chance?" I was confused and said, "I thought you were treating me." And she goes, "Well, I did not think I would have to pay for both. I assumed you would Zelle me later." What? I did not ask for it, I did not agree to it. And she literally said, "It is no big deal." I told her nicely that I am not paying for something I did not want in the first place. Now she is acting like I am taking advantage of her and says she would not have bought it if she knew I would not pay her back. So now I feel weird. I did not want it. I did not ask. But I also do not want to seem ungrateful. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole, but if you have not used it yet, offer to give it back to her. But it is a weird thing for her to do. You were right there and would have bought it if you wanted it, and you explicitly said you were not buying anything. She does not get to decide that you are spending money. Am I the a-hole for not accepting my neighbor's package? Background: I am a 33-year-old male with 1 child, a 5-year-old boy, for whom I share custody with my ex. I currently live in a 2-bedroom rental on a quiet street with a row of only 5 other houses along our road. I live on the end of the row. About 6 months ago, I accepted a package delivered for the house at the other end of the row. The package was a heavy box containing a bag of dog food. Later that evening, the neighbor, a 38-year-old female, came to pick it up. I know she lives alone and offered to carry it for her. She accepted the offer and thanked me. As I carried it to her place, she kept commenting on the fact that I was being a gentleman, and it was good to see a big, strong man in action. It was a bit weird, but well, whatever. I am not that big or strong, although I do go to the gym a few times a week to keep myself in shape. When I got it to her place, she insisted I come in for a glass of water and kept me there for an hour, just talking on. The same delivery has come to me every month since then. In the evening, she comes to collect, and I carry it over to her place. Each time, she will try to chatter away at me inside the house if she can coax me in, or on the doorstep if I can find an excuse not to go in. Then last month, when she came to collect the package, my son was home with me. I could not take the box up to her as I was making his dinner. She complained that it was too heavy for her to carry herself and that it would only take a few minutes. I refused but offered to bring it up later that evening. She pouted and huffed and went home. Half an hour later, she posted a note through the door with her mobile number on it and asked me to message when I could bring it. I had to feed my son, give him his bath, play with him, and put him to bed. Once I had done all that, I finally messaged her. She did not reply until the next day, telling me she had been tired and had fallen asleep. Then, a few hours later, she sent through a long, rambling tirade. She told me I should have helped, that I was selfish, that I obviously had not wanted to help her, as I could have asked her to stay with my son while I carried it. Fair point, though it just did not occur to me in that moment. And that if I really wanted to help her, I would have messaged her earlier. This was all sprinkled with some very colorful language. I was in complete shock. I apologized and said I would bring it to her that evening, which I then did. Last week, the day came again for that parcel to arrive, and this time I refused to take it. She came banging on the door later in the evening and yelled at me for not taking the package, saying that she now had to find a way to get it from the company depot and that it was going to cost her a fortune. Now everyone along the street knows about it. Another neighbor, a 58-year-old male, has made it clear that he thinks I am the a-hole and has threatened to complain to my landlord about my unneighborly behavior. I really do not think I am in the wrong here. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. It is neither unreasonable to leave your 5-year-old unsupervised, nor to have them supervised by a woman he does not know, especially since it sounds like you do not really want that woman in your house to begin with. Sometimes people have responsibilities that come before being neighborly. Sometimes people realize that something has shifted from being neighborly to another person taking advantage of their generosity. You had responsibilities that took precedence over being neighborly at that particular time, and your neighbor showed she did not appreciate you going out of your way to help her, and that she felt entitled to that help. In other words, she was taking advantage. You stopped, which is an appropriate reaction.